Hey everyone, and welcome to Market Momentum AI and Analysis. We are going to jump right in and take a look at the powerful currents moving the financial world right now. I'm talking about everything from the incredible rise of AI-driven stocks all the way to the pretty complex signals we're seeing in crypto and precious metals.
So, what's the big picture? I mean, where do things really stand? Are we feeling confident? Should we be super cautious? Or are we kind of at a crossroads where the next move could change everything? Well, we're going to break down all three of those themes as we look at stocks, crypto, and precious metals. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, first up, let's talk U.S. stocks. The mood here is pretty much all confidence, all the time. I mean, we're seeing this really clear, sustained upward trend. But, the big question that's on everyone's mind is this thing built to last? How solid is this rally really?
And what's really cool is that we're seeing this strength just everywhere. You look at the S&P 500, it's pushing higher. The Dow, it's stable and climbing. And then you've got the tech-heavy Nasdaq, which is just showing some serious momentum. Some analysis is even pointing toward a potential target of 26,700. I mean, all the signals are basically screaming strong rally ahead.
But wait, there's more. And this is where the story gets really interesting. Because this isn't just about a few of the big tech giants doing all the heavy lifting. Nope. The strength we're seeing is actually way broader than that.
And how do we know that? Well, just look at the Russell 2000 index. Now, this index tracks 2,000 of the smaller U.S. companies. The fact that it's also hitting new highs, that's a huge signal. It's basically telling us that this is a really healthy, broad-based rally. It's not just the big guys. You've got participation from all corners of the market. And that, right there, is the kind of underlying strength that gets investors really excited.
Now, I know what you're thinking. With a rally this strong, people start getting nervous about a pullback, right? What about a correction? It's a totally fair question. But the strategic way to look at it is, well, not to see these things as a threat. They're pretty normal. In fact, those short-term drops can actually be fantastic buying opportunities, a chance to get in if you've got the capital. So the big takeaway here is to stay invested, and maybe even look at those dips as a good thing.
Okay, brace yourselves because we are about to do a complete 180. We're shifting gears and diving into the world of crypto, and let me tell you, the word of the day here is caution. The whole market is really just trying to figure out which way is up after a pretty major sell-off.
Yeah, and this quote pretty much nails it. There was this massive whale sale, when a huge holder dumps a ton of their assets, and it just completely shook the market. We're still feeling the aftershocks from that, and things are really struggling to find any kind of solid footing.
And this isn't just one or two coins having a bad day. The pressure is on everywhere. You've got Bitcoin, which broke below a really key support level. You look at Ethereum, and a bunch of the technical indicators have flipped over to sell. And then for something like XRP, it's just high risk and really not clear what's going on. The message couldn't be clearer. The whole sector is looking weak right now.
So, how do you even play in a market like this? Well, it all comes down to discipline. Step one, you just have to accept that it's going to be super volatile. Step two, you have to wait for clear confirmation signals before you do anything. You do not want to try and catch a falling knife here. That means you got to fight that urge to rush in and buy the dip. And number one, above all else, is protect your capital. Seriously, patience is your best friend right now.
And speaking of patience, that brings us perfectly to our third and final topic, precious metals. And this is a totally different story. It's not about confidence, it's not really about caution. It's more like we're standing at a critical crossroads. If you're a gold or silver investor, this is one of those moments that really tests your strategy and, your patience.
So, why a crossroads? Well, it all comes down to one number, 3777. That was the key price target for gold. And guess what? It hit it. Now that's awesome news if you're already holding gold, but it creates a brand new, very important question. What do you do now?
And that's the big dilemma, isn't it? Do you sell and take those profits off the table? Or do you see this as a sign of strength and buy more? Well, the recommended strategy is kind of neither. The key advice here is just to be patient. Hold what you've got for sure, but don't start any new positions at these high levels. The risk of a pullback is just a little too high right now.
And hey, this isn't just a gold story. Silver is in almost the exact same boat, getting close to its own major decision point. So that really just hammers home the wait-and-see idea for the whole precious metal sector. A time for action is definitely coming, but it doesn't look like it's today. All right, let's wrap this all up and put it together. We had confidence in stocks, a whole lot of caution in crypto, and this really interesting crossroads for precious metals. Let's do a quick summary to make sure it all makes sense.
So let's boil this all down. For U.S. stocks, it's a confident rally. The strategy? Stay invested and look at any dips as a chance to buy. For crypto, it's volatile and weak. The strategy? Extreme caution. Wait for clear buy signals before you even think about jumping in. And finally, precious metals. They're at key resistance levels. The strategy? Patience. Hold what you have, but definitely avoid new buys right now.
And that's a wrap on our market breakdown. We've really seen 3 totally different stories: confidence, caution, and a critical crossroads. Understanding which story each market is telling is going to be the key to navigating what happens next. The big question I'll leave you with is, which one of these stories is going to change first? Thanks so much for joining our channel. Your subscription and likes will be appreciated.